everybody. This is Delilah Fitness and...
Greetings. This is Body Culinary giving you a shout from Central America.
So today we're talking about seasonal depression. So we noticed that there are people who suffer from depression. Also taking into consideration that the season is here where people are spending money for the holidays. So we don't know if you celebrate Christmas or whatever, but we have noticed people do take out loans from the bank to buy gifts. And they're basically putting themselves in debt, wonder why they're depressed. But we're going to talk about that. But here's the first song.
What they do. You smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. Name that tune.
Can you hear it?
And who the artist is. All the time they want to take your place.
I don't think they can hear it.
Backstabbers. Ow. Kill. Ow. Honey, they had the lyrics down.
Again and again.
Ow.
That's the high sing go.
Somebody's out to get your lady. Sure is shady. What they do, they smile in your face
all the time. They want to take your place.
The backstabbers.
That's the song.
Oh, no, that's in the song.
All right, name the song.
My friend. And name the group. Name the group. They keep coming to his house. They keep coming to his house.
All right, so name the song. Name the artiste. Okay, 2 minutes up. All right, so we're going to turn it down. Anybody can name that tune? We'll keep playing it periodically during the course of this conversation. You can turn it down. We're going to get to
we want to hear who the artist is.
All right, so today's topic is seasonal depression. Now, yes, I am a person who consumes live fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts. And there are times when I was in the States, I did suffer from seasonal depression. Take into consideration that it's cold, and in the States, the days are shorter. A lot of us have jobs. We work from sun up to sundown. Hint, hint, sounds familiar, plantation. Where we work from sun up to sundown, and we don't really get enough vitamin D. And we suffer from depression. You know, the brain needs, the skin needs, especially solarized people need vitamin D. And I understand when you try to buy it from the health food store in a bottle, not the same. Not the same. It also helps with the brain and everything. Vitamin D is a very good vitamin.
Well, also, actually, vitamin D is actually a hormone. And it's actually synthesized or metabolized actually when the sun hits the skin. So maybe I'm just very practical like my grandma Lou. I've always wondered, well, how do they get the vitamin D into the pill? And I think quite often we're so trained from labels and consumers, we're not critical thinkers and we don't ask questions. Like I think many of us may not consider that some of the vitamins are from very, in the stores and especially in the discount stores, they're from synthetic sources. And I don't think we take into consideration that the body cannot recognize these fake foods or these plastic foods, even when they're vitamins. And those pills have an effect on the liver, you know. And some of us, the way that we're taking the vitamins, especially even when they're expensive, they come out right in your poop. A lot of times they're not even absorbed into the system, and some of them can be quite expensive. So vitamin D is actually a hormone and is synthesized in the skin when actually the sun hits your skin. Other than that, I think they're coming from animal sources. So I think we have to be very concerned about the quality for those people that do take vitamins. The quality of those substances. Consider if they're inactive. They've been sitting on a shelf in a warehouse for years with an expiration date. Because we know if we had the fresh food, they come and they work in synergy with all the different nutrients inside of the food, and that food will spoil. So it's not the same. So I can't tell people what to do, but I can say, you know, I invite us to be critical thinkers about anything that we're consuming.
That sounds... that sounds spot on. That's spot on.
Okay.
So we are going to get into the nitty gritty, as we would say back in the 70s. Right on. Where we are going to list identify, so you can list some of the signs of depression. Now I'm going to list the signs of depression. Now there's 10 signs of depression. Now I'm going to start off with number 1.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So what is the source that you're getting these signs from?
I'm getting the source from a study that was shown from the help guide. It was the help guide right here.
The help guide, but I'm always interested to know who the information is coming from. So basically,
they stated there was a survey that they had, and they
went. Wait, hold on. But is it psychologists doing a survey?
Not sure.
Psychologists?
Not sure. But I just got it, Googled it, and it has 10 common symptoms to show depression. The first one is feeling helpless and hopeless. What that means is a bleak outlook. Nothing will ever get better, and there's nothing you can do to improve your situation. Helpless and hopeless. Now, helpless and hopeless is number 1. That's one sign of depression. So it basically states that if you're in a state of mind where you're basically feeling nothing positive and there's nothing good about what's going on.
Ain't nothing gonna change.
Nothing gonna change. Okay. Now, number 2 is loss of interest in daily activity. Loss of interest in daily activity. You don't care anymore about former hobbies, social activities, or even sex. That's when you know you're depressed. Especially my men folks. My men folks. You know a brother is depressed when he ain't interested in no sex now. You lose your ability to feel joy and pleasure. That's number 2. Sign number 2 of depression.
So nothing gets you happy anymore?
Nothing. Now, number 3 is appetite or weight change. Appetite, significant weight loss or weight gain. A change of more than 5% of body weight in a month. In a month. So that's number 3.
So I guess that would be like if you're gaining weight really fast,
or if you're losing weight,
or losing weight.
So you can be gaining or losing weight. Depends on the individual. Now, also with depression, it hits people differently. Not everybody's signs is the same. I'm just naming 10 common ones, but there are others. Okay. Now, number 4 is sleep change. Sleep change. Either insomnia, especially walking in the early hours of the morning, or waking. Waking in the early hours of the morning, or oversleeping. Oversleeping. Either waking up early or oversleeping. Sleeping during the course of the day, all day. That's a sign.
So if you're tired all the time?
Or you just don't want to get out of bed. You shut the shades, it's dark in your room, you don't want to deal, you don't want to leave your room, you just stay in bed all day and just not deal. You just emotionally check out.
Okay, so it's another sign.
That's another sign.
Okay.
Anger or irritability. Feeling agitated, restless, or even violent. Your tolerance level is low. Your temper is short, and everything and everyone gets on your nerves. That's number 6 of depression. That's sign number 6. Number 6. Number 7, depression. Number 7 is loss of energy. Feeling fatigued, sluggish, physically drained. Your whole body may feel heavy, or even small tasks are exhausting or taking longer to complete. So loss of energy. Loss of energy. All right, this is the big one, and I can relate. This is the big one. The number 1, the other one.
Number 7.
This is number 7. Self-loathing. Self-loathing is number 7. Strong feelings of worthlessness or guilt. You harshly criticize yourself for perceiving faults and mistakes. Self-loathing. That's number 7.
I think that's a huge one.
That's a big one. Self-loathing. All right, number 8. This is the big one. This is another one.
Another big one.
Especially for us in the Black community, we get it. Reckless behavior. Reckless behavior. You engage in escapist behavior such as substance abuse, compulsive gambling, reckless driving, or dangerous sports. Drugs. Alcohol. It's the holidays. You done spent all your money on gifts. You're not sure about your situation. You're gonna be broke, but you're gonna suck up that alcohol and you're trying to escapism. What's number 9? Concentration. What's that?
Concentration problems.
Concentration problems. Trouble focusing, making decisions, or remembering things. Whoa, that's a big one. that's a big one. Okay, my friends, buckle your seatbelts. This is number 10 signs of depression. Unexplained aches and pains. Now, as a trainer, I'm gonna tell you, and let's say this again. I gotta say this again. This is number 10. Okay, unexplained aches and pains. An increase in physical complaint. Wait a minute. An increase in physical complaints such as headaches, backaches, muscle aches, and stomach pain. All right. Now, let's be real. As human beings, we have ups and downs. That's normal. Now, if you feel that you are in a hopeless mood where you can't move, or you have a combination of a couple of these all at once, and it's elongated, it's lasting longer than the average, situation where we all go down and we go down, and then we get back up. But if you're down is longer than you're up, or you're getting up, then something is obviously an issue. And depression is something that one should not take lightly, because people have been known to do dramatic things or traumatic things when they're depressed. And we have a tendency as the Black community, especially when it comes to our men, when they're expressing emotionally that they're not feeling, they can't. Some men don't even feel comfortable where they can show their vulnerability. They have a tendency to eat it. And what happens with men when they eat it, they start to become angry. And they vent. And men carry things different from women. So when brothers are feeling like they don't have that safe space to release or to just talk about it, that's why the gym is really good for some brothers, where they can work it out physically. But then with a lot of times they need somebody to talk to, and they don't want to look like they soft. They want to keep their man up. And a brother, I would say, brothers, ain't nothing wrong. And I know ain't nothing wrong with crying. Ain't nothing wrong if you got a homie to communicate. Because women got that. And I grew up around brothers. Men need it too.
Well,
men need it too. Yes, please say
something.
something.
I'll say this. I think only in recent times, in very, very recent times, it's easy for us to say that, it's okay for men to cry and they should be able to do that. But also, they don't get necessarily, they are seen as weak. Right. They are seen as weak by many women, or you're crying, or they may not see them as masculine or as a protector. Right. If they're crying, so they may not have a safe space. So I think it's only in recent times that you're seeing different Black males and African American and Caribbean, especially African American, was just beginning to see conversations around mental health. And I think it's really, really important that we're seeing conversations around mental health being had from African Americans. Because, like, say, for example, I just saw somebody had shared a post where they have this app now where you can find a therapist, but one that has a similar cultural background to you. So I think quite often one of the reasons that people of color don't go for mental health is because, with good reason, we don't trust doctors and we don't trust the medical industry, and plus everything is medicated, so we're not addressed culturally. And then also, if we're going to someone for talk therapy, which I think is the most important, we may not feel that it's confidential. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying something that's confidential, it could put your family member at risk, or somebody can get thrown in jail. We don't trust. I think we are rightfully concerned about being prescribed medication. And I think we also intuitively know that there are a lot of things that in an ideal situation we would be able to go to someone in our community culturally that's been dismantled for a long time. I don't know whenever the last time we had that, other than quote unquote religion. But right now there hasn't been established right now a safe space where culturally we can deal with somebody that understands the cultural nuances, like our language, our jokes. If you're using the Igene word, all those things that it's not taken personal. You know, where the therapist may be taking certain things personal that are cultural, or the therapist, the person could be triggered by certain things that we're saying that are cultural. So I don't think that there's been a lot of trust, and more so it hasn't been acknowledged that we do have cultural differences. That's not a negative. A lot of times I think popular society wants to gloss over the fact that we do have, it's just like our hair. Our hair, we all have hair, but our hair is different. It has different needs. We do have different needs as far as vitamin D, and we do have certain things psychologically, mentally, and emotionally that need to be acknowledged, so that the society doesn't really even is maybe just scratching the surface. They're starting to acknowledge stuff, and if they acknowledge it, they may not be equipped to, or haven't demonstrated they're equipped to deal with post-traumatic stress, slave disorder. And there are some other things economically that need to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? The whole conversation isn't being had. So there's some things that really that we will have to address on our own. So I think we're just beginning to have the conversations around acknowledging we have mental health issues that need to be dealt with, and we're going to have to figure out the different levels and the different components to deal with that, because we're in dire need of mental health. So that's what I was going to say.
All right. So